Acadia looks gentle compared to the big western parks. Rolling granite, forested trails, a coastline that invites a slow walk. That's exactly why people get caught off guard here. The tide at Thunder Hole and along the Park Loop Road can rise faster than visitors expect, and granite that looks solid turns dangerously slick the moment sea spray or rain touches it. My name is Doug Frankfather. I'm a retired paramedic, exercise scientist, and founder of Over 50 Strong. Today's briefing covers what most Acadia guides skip: tidal timing and wave hazards, the cardiac reality of Cadillac Mountain's summit road and trails, wet granite fall risk, and, because Acadia is genuinely one of the more accessible parks in the system, exactly which carriage roads and coastal paths work for limited mobility. Acadia's hazards aren't about altitude. Cadillac Mountain tops out at just 1,130 feet. The risk here is granite and water. Wet granite, whether from rain, sea spray, or morning dew, loses traction dramatically. Trails like the Beehive and Precipice involve iron-rung ladders on exposed rock faces. Beautiful, but not appropriate for anyone with balance concerns, vertigo, or limited grip strength, regardless of age. Cadillac Mountain's summit is accessible by road, which removes the climbing risk, but the summit loop trail itself is exposed granite with real fall consequences in wind or wet conditions. After 50, reduced proprioception and slower reaction time make wet rock a meaningfully higher risk than it was a decade earlier. This isn't about fitness level, it's about traction physics and balance recovery speed. And then there's the tide. Thunder Hole and the rocky sections near Otter Cliff can be struck by waves that travel further inland than they appear capable of, especially during a rising tide or after a storm offshore. People have been swept off rocks here. Check tide tables before you go, and never turn your back on the ocean at these locations. Acadia is one of the most genuinely accessible national parks in the system, and it's because of one historic feature: 45 miles of carriage roads, built over a century ago with gentle grades, hard-packed gravel surfaces, and no motor vehicles. Large sections are wheelchair and walker accessible, especially near Jordan Pond and Eagle Lake, with wide, smooth, level paths and stunning lake and mountain views. The Jordan Pond Path's accessible section, the Eagle Lake Carriage Road Loop, and the paved ocean path between Sand Beach and Otter Point all offer accessible or near-accessible routes to genuinely iconic Acadia views, granite coastline, lake reflections, and forest, without requiring rock scrambling or elevation gain. Cadillac Mountain Summit is reachable entirely by car via Cadillac Summit Road, with accessible parking and a paved viewing area at the top, meaning you can experience the highest point on the U.S. Atlantic coast without hiking a single step. For mobility-limited travelers, that combination, carriage roads plus drive-up summit access, makes Acadia one of the best accessible national park choices in the country. This is your paramedic safety brief for Acadia National Park. I'm Doug Frankfather, retired paramedic, exercise scientist. What I'm about to cover isn't in the visitor guide. These are the field-level hazards that land people in the back of an ambulance. Listen up. Hazard 1. Wet granite fall risk. Granite at Acadia becomes significantly more slick when wet from rain, sea spray, or morning dew. This applies to coastal trails, summit areas, and especially the iron-rung trails like the Beehive and Precipice. If a surface looks even slightly damp, test your footing before committing weight. A fall on exposed granite carries real injury risk regardless of trail difficulty rating. Hazard 2. Tide and wave exposure. Thunder Hole, Otter Cliff, and other rocky shoreline areas can be struck by waves that surge further inland than they visually appear capable of, particularly on a rising tide or after offshore storms. Check tide tables before visiting coastal viewpoints. Never turn your back on the ocean at these locations. If a ranger has posted a wave advisory, treat it as absolute. Hazard 3. Cardiac stress on granite ascents. Trails like Cadillac North Ridge, Penobscot Mountain, and Beach Mountain involve sustained granite ascents that elevate heart rate meaningfully, even at modest elevations. If you have a cardiac history, hypertension, or arrhythmia, pace conservatively and know your turnaround point. Watch for chest tightness, jaw or arm discomfort, or sudden fatigue. These are warning signs. Stop, sit, call 911. Hazard 4. Iron rung and exposed trails. Know your limits. The beehive and precipice trails involve iron rung ladders on near vertical exposed granite. These are not appropriate for anyone with vertigo, limited grip strength, or balance concerns, at any age. There is no shame in choosing the carriage roads instead. The view from the accessible paths is still spectacular. Hazard 5. Medication flags. Blood thinners increase bleed risk from a granite fall. Beta blockers mask cardiac overload signs on ascents. Bring a written medication list and brief your travel companion before any hike beyond the carriage roads. Call 911 if you observe any of these. Chest pain or pressure of any duration. Sudden dizziness or loss of balance on granite. A fall on rock with head impact or inability to move normally. Anyone struck or nearly struck by a wave at the shoreline. Confusion, pale or clammy skin, rapid weak pulse. Acadia rewards caution with granite, water, and timing, and rewards everyone with one of the best accessible park experiences in the country. Grab the free Acadia Safety and Accessibility Card at over50strong.net. Print it, carry it, stay strong out there. Before any coastal walk, check the tide table, available at the visitor center, posted online, or through any tide app. Plan shoreline visits like Thunder Hole and Ocean Path around lower tide windows when possible, and avoid these areas entirely during storm surge advisories. File a trip plan if you're heading onto granite ascent trails. Tell someone your route and expected return time. On granite ascents, pace your breathing and rest before you feel forced to. Iron rung trails should only be attempted in dry conditions. Check recent weather, not just the current sky, since granite can stay wet long after rain stops. Carry more water than feels necessary. Coastal humidity can mask how much you're actually losing to exertion. Acadia's gear priorities are different from a desert or alpine park. Grippy, sticky rubber trail shoes matter more here than aggressive lug soles. You need traction on smooth, wet granite, not mud tread. Trekking poles help on uneven coastal terrain and granite ascents. A lightweight rain shell is essential. Maine coastal weather shifts quickly, and wet clothing on cool days accelerates fatigue. For tide awareness, a simple tide table watch or phone app removes the guesswork. For accessibility-focused visitors, the carriage roads are wide and stable enough for most all-terrain wheelchairs and rollators. Confirm specific equipment compatibility with the visitor center if you have questions. All of these are linked in the description with the Over 50 Strong Amazon affiliate tag. Every purchase supports this channel and costs you nothing extra. You've just received a paramedic grade field brief for Acadia National Park, including the accessibility information that makes this one of the best national parks for travelers with mobility considerations. Download the free Acadia Safety and Accessibility Card at over50strong.net. It covers tide hazards, granite trail risk, accessible routes, and emergency contacts in one printable page. If this briefing gave you value, hit subscribe. We cover national parks, accessibility, and senior safety every week with the same field-level depth. Drop a comment. Which park should I brief next? I read everyone. Stay disciplined. Stay strong. I'll see you on the trail.